Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. I'm Troy West and thank you so much for joining me once again another Saturday. Hope everybody had a good week. This is episode 217. Today's date is January 14th, 2023. Just want to say happy birthday to my friend Nikki. Somebody I just was like a big sister to me back in my hotel working day, so if somehow she see this, happy birthday. I never forget your birthday. She was a good friend of mine. Hopefully her and her family doing well. Just want to throw that out there. Should be a quick show today, shouldn't be too much. MLB news. I'm gonna talk about the Carlos Correa wild free agency roller coaster from the Giants to the Mets and now back to the Minnesota Twins. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. NBA news. I touch on the Kyrie Irving situation a little bit as he lost his Instagram. I just talk about him for a few minutes. And we look at the NBA standings and what's going on in the NBA. And of course, it's NFL wildcard weekend. I pick all 6 games for this weekend. 2 games today. We got the triple header tomorrow, and then Monday night big game, Dallas at Tampa. We'll talk about all 6 games. And for my big predictions, I put my live stream I had on Wednesday night as we looked at the whole playoff picture, who I think will go to the Super Bowl. You check that out. I'm gonna put it in the icon, so just click the eye icon on the video. It'll be in there mixed with some other videos that I have. And just some final thoughts. This was kind of with the channel. Had a little bit of an eventful week as well. So I touch on all that stuff today. But let's go ahead and get the MLB news out the way, because like I said, I don't have a lot of baseball followers here. But the Carlos Correa, of course, came up through the Houston Astros. Went to Minnesota for a few years. Went out there, tried to get a big contract. The Giants was the first suitors. That deal fell through because of a physical. Mets swooped in, tried to sign him. Mets really spent a lot of, really made some big moves this year in the offseason. They tried to add another piece, but that fell through as well. And then the Twins wound up offering a contract. Now what I was hearing is about he had an ankle, some type of major ankle surgery back in 2014, which is a long time ago. So I don't understand, honestly, for the outside looking in, why this was such trouble. I guess the Mets and the Giants, they was looking to give him 10-year deals. I guess they was skeptical about that, giving him a longer deal. And maybe that's why Correa just wound up going get back to Minnesota. But the Minnesota contract is only 6 years. But he was there the last few years, so I think they would know and trust that his ankle gonna hold up. But like I said, from outside looking in, I don't understand the Giants and the Mets. I think it was, to me, just outside looking, I think it was more than that injury. I think they just, I think they got cold feet and just looked at the contract like, is he gonna last the 10 years? Maybe they think the ankle gonna eventually give out, I guess. But the Twins give him the contract. I watched this somewhat of a snippet of his press conference. He said it was up and down situation. He would say he learned that the doctors have different opinions about certain things. They said most of the doctors, figure he's going to be fine, but I guess the doctors that was against it sort of scared the Giants and the Mets away. So he wound up going back to Minnesota. Twins started off, like I said, last year they started off very, very well. They cooled down at the end, wound up missing the playoffs altogether. But I think they'd be a contender again this year. In that AL Central, of course, the Guardians, formerly known as the Indians, wound up winning that division, which was a little bit surprising. But them, really it's just them and the Twins. I think the Royals still rebuilding. The White Sox sort of fell off, but that's a team to watch out for. And Detroit, I think, is still dealing with some things. So Twins should be right there again to compete. But I think overall it's good for both Correa and the Twins. There's always somewhere where you're familiar. I think going to New York and the Giants, the bigger expectation, I said he couldn't have beat him because he's the World Series champion with Houston. So, not saying that would have bothered him, but especially with the Mets. The Mets going to be a contender this year, but all that pressure, like to say they, like last year, won 100 games but really didn't do anything. But this year, I think they expect bigger things from the Mets even this year than they did last year, despite them winning 100 games. So I think being in that environment could have been, who knows how that would have went. And the Giants, a little bit more quieter environment, but a winning organization. You expected to win at Minnesota, sort of fly under the radar. Not a lot of big expectations. So I think it winds up working out for him. But it was just weird how both of those deals just fell through. Like, it was just crazy. But now I understand a little bit more. But I think both teams was just like, and the Mets already spent a lot of money. Maybe they was like, nah, I think it was more the teams than Correa, obviously. So he goes back to Minnesota, but it was just weird, like, how days just transpired. Just never seen it before, never heard of it before. Deals flipping like that. So, but congratulations to him. He gets, I think it's 6 years, $250, I believe. So, still a good contract. And he will help that Twins, organization stay stable. It's too early for predictions, but I don't know. I might look at that team. I might have them winning the Central. I'm not sure, but they definitely going to be contenders for that division title in American League Central. So that's it. Just wanted to talk about that real quick. As far as baseball news, probably next week I'll start doing my top 5 list. I always do it for the off seasons of the major sports. So I think I'm gonna start with catchers. So I'm gonna do some research. Break down the top 5 catchers in baseball, and I go to infield, then outfield, then pitching, and then relievers. I think I do about 5 or 6 lists, and by the time we do all that, it'll be close to the regular season again. So definitely look out for that next week. So we've had some baseball still in the show, so check that out next week. If anything else happens, free agency, any off the field stuff, we'll cover it here next week as well. Let's move on to the NBA. Pretty much now starting to heat up. They usually do heat up after Christmas. Some teams start to separate themselves. Let's take a look at the standings first, and then I want to talk about also Kyrie Irving, sort of off the court stuff. Again, as they deleted his Instagram. Let's run through the scores from last night first. Saturday, January 14th. Knicks Wizards. Knicks win 112-108. Kyle Kuzma had 40 points in that game in a loss. It's starting to see that a lot. High scoring by individuals, but losing the game. Pelicans beat the Pistons 116-110. Hawks over the Pacers. Indiana Pacers has been a surprise this year. They lose this game, but they still in contention for a playoff spot. Warriors Spurs. Spurs had 68,000 in the Alamo Dome to watch that game. Warriors win easily, but set a record for largest crowd in, I think, NBA history. So that was a good feat. But the Spurs, of course, in the rebuilding phase. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I said this last week, that's a team to watch out for in the West. I think they're going to make a move. I think they're going to wind up at least making a play-in as they beat the Bulls last night, 124-110. Seeing the report that Lonzo Ball is on his way back, because the Bulls are spinning sort of up and down. I think they need him. Underrated player. I think he's a great playmaker. He can set the offense for Levine and DeMar DeRozan. So I think they do need him back. I think the Bulls are a much better team with him. So hopefully they get him back soon. Minnesota quietly been winning a little bit. They beat the Phoenix Suns 121-116. Of course, Suns with no Devin Booker, so I think that the whole offense is just probably try to get something stable. Really, if you look at the team, really other than Chris Paul, no really player that could just take over a game like Devin Booker can. But Minnesota been playing a little bit better now. Jazz over the Magic 112-108. Both teams, like I said, in the rebuilding stage. Jazz started off hot, but they came back to earth a little bit. LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets win it 115-103. Denver, we about to talk about Denver. If you look at the standings, they started gives themselves some distance in the West. Well, teams starting to separate a little bit there. And the Sacramento Kings, another surprise team. They're a top 4 team as they beat the Houston Rockets. Of course, Rockets worst team in basketball right now, 139-114. So let's look at the standings now. Of course, we're gonna start East. It's a game today on ABC. Heat been playing much better against the Milwaukee Bucks today. Or is it against Boston? Is it Milwaukee? Let me be 100% sure. But it's an early 1 o'clock game before the playoffs start, so got something to watch. Yeah, it's Milwaukee at Miami. So, yep. So that's on ABC. If you want to watch a basketball game today, I might check it out if I'm woke, cause I'm definitely gonna take a nap once I finish recording. Boston, still quietly, it's sort of quietly, but they still roll along. Only team with 30 wins, 31-12, 3 ahead of Brooklyn. We're gonna talk about the Nets and Kyrie Irving in a second. As they 3 out, Milwaukee. I think the injury started to catch up to them a little bit. 27-15. They got Cleveland in 4th spot. Philly, New York Knicks, who struggled a little bit last week, but they started to turn it back on. I mentioned Indiana, they in the 7th spot in the play-in. Miami 8th, Atlanta 9th, and Toronto 10th as we speak now. Chicago right there, Washington right there. Just said Orlando. Orlando not too far behind. But I just think Chicago and Toronto is going, once they get acclimated, I think they're going to make a push. Washington had potential, but I just don't see the consistency from them, but they capable. And Orlando got a young team, so maybe. So it's going to be interesting. This bottom part of the East, really from really all the way up to 6. I think the top 5, they Philly, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Boston. They clearly the top 5 teams. And I think after that, you draw a line to separate these other teams. Even though the Knicks got a decent record, but I think clearly Philadelphia, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston, and Brooklyn are the better teams in the East. Brooklyn, of course, no Kevin Durant for a month at least. So can they hold on while he's gone? That'd be telltale as well. We go into the West. Like I said, I just mentioned the Nuggets. It's the Nuggets and Grizzlies. Grizzlies has won, 8 in a row, I think. At 28-13, excuse me. They half out Denver 29-13. Nuggets, like I said, Jamal Murray starting to look great. If they healthy, they, to me, is just as strong as anybody else in the Western Conference. Grizzlies, they young. Ja Morant is unbelievable. See those 2 dunks he had earlier this week. New Orleans, of course, no Zion again. They in the 3rd spot. Sacramento, like I said, they the surprise. 23-18, the 4th spot. Now I think, the Warriors, I will get to them too. But I think in the West, I think the top 3, Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, I think they're gonna stay. Kings still gotta show me some more. I like the Mavs because of Luka, but like I said, he just sometimes I think he had to do too much. I think that catches up with them. Clippers is the wild card, the question mark. Can Kawhi and Paul George consistently just play basketball? If they can, they will be a factor. Warriors getting healthy. Steph Curry just got back, so I think they're gonna get acclimated. They're gonna make a push. Utah, like I said, started off hot at the beginning of the season, but they pretty much came back down to earth. These are two teams. Also, you don't know what you're going to get for the rest of the season. Phoenix and Minnesota. Minnesota's, like I said, starting to play better, but they don't got no cat. Carl Anthony Towns. So once he gets back, maybe that'll push them up. And the Phoenix Suns, like I said, no Devin Booker, so they just gotta. Hopefully, they can survive without him. I think they definitely an average team without him. But like I said, I like the Thunder. The Thunder right now, outside looking in the 11th spot in the West. But I think Sigurius Alexander, I think he's the real deal. They just know how to draft. They got a nice young team. I think even next year they take another step when they get the rookie that hurt himself. Is out for the season. If once they get him back, I think they'd be better. Portland and the Lakers, they down, but they have talent. Like if the Lakers get healthy, they get Anthony Davis back, they can make a push. But I like OKC. I think they're gonna might be making one of these. I think Utah's gonna wind up falling back. We'll see what happens with Minnesota and Phoenix. But I like OKC. I like what they're doing there. That's what they've been doing. Really, Sad Presti still doing his thing. He drafts very, very well. I like the OKC Thunder. So hopefully I get this. I wouldn't mind watching them. Fun team to watch as well. When I watch the highlights. So there you got San Antonio. They the first like 10-15 games they started well, but then they just fell completely off. And then Houston, I like Houston. I like their young team as well. They just ain't put it together yet. So the West, deep as it always been. So that's a look through the standings. So that's the my opinion on that. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving. I just wanted to touch on it because I be watching like other YouTubers and other people give the opinions, deep opinions sometimes. Of course, it's not national news. Ain't nobody really talking about it other than people behind the scenes. But Instagram deleted his page the other day. And basically the gist of it is, we know about what happened. What was it? About a half ago with the tweet when he tweeted out that Hebrews to Negroes or whatever the book was or whatever. He got a lot of flack for that just by posting the book. He didn't say anything. He went through, was out for about a week or two, came back. Nets took off after that. So his play on the court has been great as always. Like I said, he's one of the best players in the league, so not a surprise there. But with that situation, like I said, I ain't into politics. I ain't into all that nonsense, basically. But I also believe, you should be able to voice your opinion. He's just a different guy. Like I said, not really sure. Like I said, I'm not a religious person, so I'm not sure exactly what his religion is. But they basically, long story short, it sort of rubbed the Jews the wrong way. And that's people's theory that they try to silence them or whatever, which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I used to work. I'm from Baltimore. If you're from here, you probably know what hospital I used to work at. I used to work for it's a Jew community. Actually, I live pretty much around the Jew community, close to the Jew community. One thing I could say, they're nice people, but I think they also a little standoffish. They don't let a lot of people in if you're not Jewish yourself. But I don't, like I said, I just think you should be voice your opinion, because I'm sure they do. They might not do it publicly, but I'm sure they have the, things that they believe in. I just think especially in today's culture, I just think people are just too sensitive, man. Just stand on what you stand on and, go on with your life. Not saying that I never get offended by things, but I don't go as far to say, somebody should lose their page or lose their job or this and this and that. And I know he's a public figure. I know he's an NBA player, but that shouldn't matter. You know, he should be able to live. You know, he's living his life, his truth, as far as what his religious beliefs are and things of that nature. And he do a lot of good for community if you look him up. So I don't understand it, but maybe he'll get his page back. Maybe well, I think they said he made a backup page. I don't follow Instagram. You know, I follow other players. I don't know if I follow him or not. I don't think I do. And that's just because I just get around. So like I said, I'm not really a social media person. Really, I use my social media to promote my channel. But I just think it's up I think people just too sensitive, to be honest with you. Like even somewhat, even though the Mark Hamlin situation was a very serious situation. A young man almost lost his life. Some people just things to say, other commentators, other whatever, talking heads or whatever, sort of made it seem like they was downplaying his life. But even if you said the game was important, you know, you got chewed out for that as well. But the game was important. It was look at what's going on. We about to talk about the NFL, but if Kansas City and Buffalo make the AFC Championship game, which they announced it would be in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Dome, you know, if same day they played that game out on the field, you know, Bills could be the 1 seed right now, or even Cincinnati a chance at it. Now, pretty much Cincinnati got screwed pretty much in a way. And it could have been playing this game on the road this week against the Ravens, but I mean, I think the NFL did the right thing. Don't get me wrong, but you know, that was an important game, so I don't think it's wrong to say that. Now, to go into the detail about still playing the game and all that stuff, I think, you know, but I still think that's your opinion. I mean, it's not of course, mostly nobody agree with that, but it's your opinion. You know, I don't think you downplay Mr. Hamlin's life by saying that the game was important, or you know, like I said, I knew there was no way they was gonna finish that game. At least not tonight. I thought they would get it in some way, but I didn't think they was gonna finish it that night for sure. And he's doing a lot better. He's been released from the hospital. Sort of going off topic. I wanted to talk about Kyrie, but I just brought up that just to, you know, because people are just too sensitive, man. Like, you can't voice your opinion. But social media is just terrible anyway. Like, that's why I try not to really. Sometimes I gotta get away from it, because and sometimes it be people that are close to me, that, you know, say certain things. I'm gonna talk about a little bit the week I had, you know. But yeah, I just think people need to just you know, you could believe what you want to believe in, you know, and maybe, you know, maybe Kyrie should speak the way he speak, you know, just because you know this is now, you know what's going to happen to you or what they're going to try to do. But it's unfortunate, but just want to talk about that, to get my opinion on it. But to go back on the court, the Nets, not having Kevin Durant, it's going to hurt them. But hopefully they can stay in that top 3, you know. I think he could be out a few weeks. They probably just hold him out to the All-Star break. That's what I'm going to guess. Probably just go ahead and let him sit and come back after the All-Star break. At least I would. Depends on how things start to go. As long as Kyrie there, Ben Simmons playing better, I think he's starting to get acclimated. I think they'd be fine. But people too sensitive. That's basically the moral of that story. Alright, so that's our NBA news for this week. We will move on to the NFL, the wild card round. Let me bring up my power rankings again. Well, you go see them on my Instagram page, my Facebook page. I ranked off 14 playoff teams that's remaining, and then once these games is over, the teams that's been eliminated, of course, they won't be on the list. I rank the last 8. It'll be down to 8 teams after this week. I rank those 8, and then rank the last 4. And then once Super Bowl come, you know, we'll have a special for that. I'll probably do a special little short video for that, breaking down that game, whoever makes it. You can, like I said, I'm gonna put the my live stream Was disappointed. I was disappointed. I thought I was going to at least get a little bit of a crowd. But you can watch the replay right now on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna put it in the icon. So just hit the information icon. It'll be about 5 videos there, or 5 play. I usually do put playlists there, but I'm gonna put that individual video in there. So check that out right now if you want to see what I predict. But we're going to just focus on these week's games, these weekend games. We will go in time by the order of time. So it's 2 games today, like I said. Triple header tomorrow, and then Monday night ends the weekend with Dallas at Tampa. So we're going to start with today at 4:30, NFC 7-2 matchup. San Francisco 49ers at home against their division rival, the Seattle Seahawks. These teams, of course, had a long history, at least in this decade, of playoff games, rough regular season games. Probably been the second best rivalry in the NFL in the last 20 years, including the, of course, Ravens Steelers is number 1. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Ravens fan, but it seems like that game always just had meaning. The Niners are 9-point favorites. I think that's fair, the way San Francisco been playing. Seattle, they led the division for a while. Niners wound up catching them. Both times they played this year, the Niners pretty much dominated them. Now, one thing I will say, I've been watching a lot of people's opinions. A lot of people not picking Seattle, but people just say this might be a closer game than you think. It's a division game. Pete Carroll is a veteran head coach. Niners, Brock Purdy, even though he's been playing well, he's still a rookie. It's his first playoff game, so all that stuff mixed in there, I think that's fair to say. But I think that the Niners overall is just a better football team, and I think that's what's going to prevail here. I think they might get off to a slow start. Kickoff at 4:30 today. Geno Smith had a monster year. Him and even though Detroit didn't make it, Jared Goff, those 2 guys, obviously, I've been a critic of both of them throughout their whole career, mainly Geno and especially the last few years with Jared Goff. But it seemed like he found his way in Detroit, so I tip my hat off to him and Geno Smith this year. Geno Smith has been unbelievable, really a top 5 quarterback if you go by stats in the NFL this year. So I don't doubt that. I think this is gonna be a close. I think the 9 points might be too big. I wouldn't take that. But I think San Francisco will ultimately prevail. Christian McCaffrey has been huge since he's been there, more than I thought. He's been huge on the offensive side. Like I said, Purdy has played well. The defense last few weeks been a little leaky. You see what the Raiders did a few weeks ago. But I think the Niners is just too great. I think they will prevail. They'll move on and win this game. But the 9 points might be too big, though. I'll give you that. Night game tonight. Excuse me, I had to look at my phone real quick. Chargers at Jags. Jags, of course, AFC South champion. One of the last week of the season, beating the Titans last week. Chargers sort of lipped in the playoffs a little bit. Had injuries all year long, but still wound up winning 10 games. So I give them credit for it. And I believe in them. This game is a coin flip. This game. Jags has played well the last month and a half. But I just like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a little bit better. I think Justin Herbert right now is a little bit better than Trevor Lawrence. Austin Eckler, a lot of people not talk about him, but he had a great year for the Chargers. I think that stabilized the Charger offense. Some people, bringing in the travel and all that, which might matter, but I think since it's a night game, I don't think that's going to matter too much. If it was an early game, like a 1 o'clock game, or maybe even a 4 o'clock game, I say, all right, I've factored it. But I think since it's a night game, I think they'll get there early, be right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to be a big factor. The time ain't gonna be a factor because it's a night game. I think they win. They only a 1.5 point favorite. Of course, you don't win too many games by 1.5, by about 2 points or 1 point. So, I think it'll be close. I think the Jags deserve to be here. I think the AFC South is about to turn over to them. I think the Titans is about to come down a little bit. I think they're gonna be searching for a quarterback. And Houston and the Colts like I said, they need a quarterback as well. And Houston just in purgatory right now. So I think the Titans and the Jags are clearly the two top teams in the South, and I think the Jags is about to take control of this division for a while. And I think this is a step in the right direction. Doug Peterson proved that he's a good coach. To me, he should get consideration for coach of the year if he had it already. I like the Chargers though to win this game. I just think they're slightly better. They do have injuries. I think Mike Williams is banged up again. So I think it'll be a close game. I think the Chargers move on and they win. Dolphins at Bills. This is now we're in the Sunday games. This is an early 1 o'clock start. Miami. No Tua in the concussion protocol again. Excuse me. No Teddy Bridgewater. He's ain't ready. So they go to the rookie quarterback for this game. Bills 13.5-point favorites. Bills are my Super Bowl representative for the AFC. I've been saying that ever since the summer. I think it's going to be another electric game, even though they was home last week. But I think it's a playoff game. But like I said, division games, when you play somebody 3 times, you just never know. So I think the Bills should be careful. But I think, like I said, just like I feel about the Niners and Seahawks, I just think the Bills are just clearly the better team. And I say they just like I said about the Niners spread. I think the score might be too, the spread might be a little bit too high. 13.5, that's a lot of points. I think it might be closer, but I think the Bills will win this game. So that's set up next week. Bills will go to will host either Cincinnati. Well, let's get all the games in first, and then we'll look at. Like I said, I really don't want to look ahead. But if Miami wind up winning, they know they go straight to Kansas City. If Seattle wins the 7-2 matchup, of course they go straight to Philadelphia. So they already know who they will play next. Niners will have to wait, and the Bills will have to wait to see who their opponent would be. But I think the Bills will win this game. But I think it'll be closer than people think. Giants at Vikings. Now this game is pretty tough. Vikings are 3-point favorite. Giants up and down. Yeah, didn't look good towards the end. Struggled in the middle. Both of these teams pretty similar. Like a lot of people think these teams not as good as they are because maybe their schedules was easier. Vikings, like I said, I gave them respect all year. Winning 13 games is hard to do in the NFL, no matter what your schedule is. But it seemed like against the good teams, they haven't looked good against, like what Dallas did to them, what Green Bay just did to them. Green Bay made the playoffs, but the Packers did, Detroit. So their 4 losses have been terrible, like dominant losses, pretty much. The big win this year was against Buffalo, of course, in that crazy game, and that could have went either way. Both of these teams basically not get a lot of respect. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. They're at home. I just think they a little bit more put together offensively than the Giants are. I think the Giants gonna have to. They Saquon Barkley gonna have to have a monster game for them to have a shot. But the Vikings defense is terrible. I think the Giants will stay in this game because of that. So 3-point favorite. So that's basically saying they even if they was in a neutral field. So but I think Minnesota. It would be nice if they kind of win sort of convincingly, because maybe they'll get a confidence against. Most likely they would have to play the Niners next week. And I know nobody gonna give them a shot in that game. And the Giants, if they win, like I said, they most likely will go to Philadelphia, unless Seattle wins as well, and then they will go to maybe who will be left? Either Tampa or Dallas. So a lot of scenarios with the NFL playoffs, but I think the Vikings will pull that game out and win it, and I think it will be close though. Oh boy, really don't want to talk about this game as a Ravens fan. Ravens at Bengals. This is a Sunday night game. Bengals 8.5-point favorite. Of course, no Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. Look like it is going to be Tyler Huntley. Look like he will be ready to go. Okay, all right. I'm gonna try not to be negative here for the Ravens. I'm gonna put my Raven hat on for a second. This is the only chance they got to win this game, in my opinion. Cincinnati has played very, very well over the last month. I don't think they lost since early November or something like that. Sort of in the Ravens' head as well, even though we did beat them with Lamar this year. This is the blueprint. All this have to happen. Turnovers. You gotta force turnovers. You had to force Cincinnati to turn the ball over. Hopefully now with Ray Smith getting his money, maybe he'll have a beast mode game. Him and Patrick Queen at linebacker core. Force Joe Burrow into some mistakes. I mean, not just one. You're gonna need a couple. Second, don't know if Gus Edwards is ready, but J.K. Dobbins will be back. Y'all have to run the ball. You have to be dominant running the ball, pretty much all game long. Control the clock. Keep them on the sideline. That has to happen. And just more luck. Like, you gotta score touchdowns. Like all that. I mean, that's got to be the game plan. Because Tyler Huntley can't just stand back there and throw. If they trail in this game, it's over basically. But honestly, like I said, realistically, I don't think the Ravens got a shot, man. I really don't. I'm saying that as a true Ravens fan. I just don't think. They're gonna have it. And then just look into the future. I don't know if Lamar. I'm hearing so many different reports that he's still hurt. It's more. The injury is worse than they thought. And I'm also hearing reports that. Yeah, he's hurt, but he should be able to play. So I don't like that. I don't like this whole situation. I said in the summer, once the regular season started, I didn't like it that he didn't get his contract. So this is a very, very fluid situation. Unfortunately, he might have. Part of me believe he's going to stay here just because of how. Well, I mean, of course, yeah, I don't know him personally, but just his demeanor. I think he likes it here. I think he really want to be a Raven. I don't think he wants to leave. But trust me, it's other teams that's waiting for the Ravens to mess this up. I think he might wind up getting franchised, which I think it's not going to rub him the wrong way. So this is a bad situation. The Ravens got to smooth this over somehow. With that being said, though, and then going into this game, that's a distraction. Players had to ask the questions all week long about, what his status is and all that. I think all that, it's a slow ball affair. I think Cincinnati will win this game. I'd be shocked as a Ravens fan. I'd be shocked. I'd be happy, but I'd be shocked if the Ravens pull off this. This will be the biggest upset of the weekend to me because Seattle, San Francisco. If Seattle wins, yeah, it's upset, but they division rivals, like I said. Miami, Buffalo, same thing, even though Miami is very short-handed, so that would be a big one as well. But I think this is the one that I feel like the Ravens really don't have a chance. I think Miami have a chance because of their playmakers. If that rookie could keep clean, I think I can see Miami keeping it close. I don't see them winning either. I don't really give them a shot either. But I'd be more shocked if the Ravens win this game than if Miami beat Buffalo, to be honest with you. Even though Buffalo's my Super Bowl pick. As a Ravens fan, I hope so. But that's like I said, that's the only way it can happen. They have to run the ball dominantly. I say about 200 yards combined with Dobbins and whoever else. And turnovers. Have to turn Cincinnati over. Basically, they gotta stay off, keep them off the field. Period. Like on offense. Like that's the only way, and I don't see it happening. So, Unfortunately, I think the Ravens season will end tomorrow night. Okay, that's the last game of the week. We go to Monday night. Cowboys at Buccaneers. This is also a tough game to pick. Dallas, just weird, man. Dallas just, I mean, they got the talent. They look like world beaters at times. They look like they can just roll anybody. And then they just pull out these stinkers like against Washington. I was shocked that they played that bad. Dak Prescott has been inconsistent, let's just say it. His whole career really, but especially this year. But then, you know, he's the highest scoring quarterback since he's been back off his injury, you know. So it's like, it's just weird that the defense was dominant at first. Now they're not getting the sacks and the turnovers they was getting. So the defense struggled a little bit. Tampa, same. You know, they defense, they played as well we thought they was going to play this year. Tom Brady been up and down, but even though there's been injuries on both sides of the ball, no running game, period, for Tampa. I mean, basically, these two teams played back in week 1, and that's the best running game Tampa had all year. Basically, it's Tom, and that's it. But this is the core flip, but I've been trying to think about it. I've been going back and forth, but I'm gonna go with Tampa. Tampa at home. It's Tom Brady. And you'll never bet against Brady, especially in a game like this. I think he somehow pulls it out. I think it'll be a close, tight game. I think they do it. I think they pull it out. I think they win over Dallas. I think Dallas been making too many mistakes. I think they'll make another one. They running game hasn't been consistent either. They capable of winning this game. They capable of beating anybody, but I just think just everything just to me feels like Tampa gonna win this game. So I'm gonna go with them to do it. Tom Brady win another playoff game. And I think he'll go there. I think Philly are down. They will go to Philly, you know, if everything holds. They'll go to Philadelphia next week, and if they do, I think they'll give them a challenge as well. I don't like the way the Eagles looked either the last few weeks. But I think they needed that bye. I think they was grateful that they did get that bye, because I think that's what helped them. That's why I think that Philly will still get to the NFC Championship game. But I think Tampa gonna make a little push. I think the winner of this game can get all the way to the Super Bowl. And in the AFC, I think only well, I really don't think Chargers, Jaguars. Let's just say I just don't think that one of them going to be Kansas City. So I think Tampa or Dallas will have a chance against Philadelphia. But I don't think the Chargers or the Jags will have a chance against Kansas City. So the AFC is pretty much Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Kansas City. It's one of those three. I'd be shocked if any other AFC teams make it out of there. So I think the NFC is a little bit more wide open. I think you can see any 7 of these. Maybe under this, well, only why I exclude Seattle, because like I said, I don't really think they're going to be San Francisco either. But the Giants maybe either, you know, you might not see them doing it either, but at least I think, you know, the Giants will have to play the Eagles if they win. And I think, like I said, that division game, you just never know. So I think the NFC is much more wide open that any of these teams can get out. But I think in the AFC, it's either Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati. If it's anybody else, it'd be a shock. Alright, so that's your wild card picks for this weekend. Like I said, check out the icon if you want to see my whole predictions for the whole playoffs. My live stream I did Wednesday night. I will post it in the information icon, so definitely check it out if you want to see all my predictions. But like I said, I'll give my Super Bowl predictions here. Like I said Buffalo will beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl. That's my picks. My original pick from the NFC was the Rams. That was going back to before the season started. But you see, you know, the Rams ain't there. The Bills, like I said, I think the Damar Hamlin thing, when things get rough, I think that's what's going to prevail them to come out the AFC. Okay, let's get to the final thoughts as we about to wrap this vlog up for this week. First, let's talk about the channel. Like I said, channel sort of up in the air. Like I said, I might be losing my internet service for a while. So, but like I said, I will give a formal announcement once that happens. Basically, it can happen any day now, so I'm just waiting for days to develop. But if so, like I said, I still go live on my phone on Saturdays and do the blog that way. Instead of doing it here through the PlayStation Playroom here. So we still have a blog, but the other stuff about the video game playthroughs, I've sort of been slacking on it. You know, God of War, I've been doing like one video every other day. I've been doing Broforce, a little side game, little shooter, just to change the pace. Sonic Origins been slowing down, but I did put a video of that up this week. I think I did 1 or 2 videos of that. As I'm gonna do Sonic 3 again with the classic mode, probably starting next week. So look out for all that. Like I said, I want to do Last of Us 2 Part 2. So I don't know, I might look into that tomorrow. I mean Monday. I'm trying to finish God of War. That's why. Cause I still want to finish my Madden season, but and I still want to finish NBA 2K23. So they just put on ice for now. They're not over yet. So just stay tuned. So that's what's going on with the channel for right now. No new games really coming out soon. So and like I said, we still have the blog every Saturday. So even if we lose the internet, I just go live on my phone on Saturdays. So just check it out and look out for that. But just, you know, some behind the scenes things. Like I said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes with my job and everything. I had a little bit of a breakdown again this week. Sort of just had thoughts in my mind. I don't want to get into it because I don't want this channel to get demonetized or anything like that about the video itself. Because I know if you say certain things about if anybody, I guess I'll do this. I recommend going to my other channel. I ain't posted on it for years. The Open Book with Troy West. That'll sort of explain what I'm saying right now. I had those thoughts in my head for the first time in a while, and you know, I just, you know, and you know, I get emotional. That's why I like social media. I posted some things on social media. It's still up. If you want to go to my Facebook page, pretty much my last 2 posts, pretty much was emotional posts. You know, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of people, you know, I'm not saying I don't have nobody in my corner. I got my brother Darwan. But you know, it's, you know, I just don't feel I don't know, I just don't feel like I get the support that I want and I need. Like with this channel, like I said, I'm gonna use this example again. And a lot of people don't agree with it, but it's just the truth. Now I'm only speaking for me. Maybe some people don't do this. And I only use these days as examples because I'm not into them, you know, like let's just say, probably use 2 examples. Let's say alright, music, that's a good one for me because I'm not really big on music, right? Let's just say somebody I'm cool with, a friend, whoever, especially a close friend. Maybe they review music. Maybe they talked about music. Now I wouldn't be really interested in it, but if you're somebody that you know, that I care for, if I support, you know, I'm going to support. I might not watch the whole video, but you know, like, and I don't like to do this because you know, let's say like I'm trying to get sympathy or trying to get, you know, and I'm not. I'm just speaking off, you know, from how I feel. Just checking the time, because actually this video was longer than I thought it was going to be, but you know, I just don't get the support, man. Like, that's just basically what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of people don't like sports. It's enough people that don't like sports. People in my circle don't really, you know, care for sports, but you know, they don't need support at all, you know. But I feel like when they got something going on, I support, even if it's something I'm not really interested in personally myself. And everybody say, well, you need to do this, need to change up this, do that. And maybe that's true, you know. a small YouTuber. It's just something I do for the pleasure of it. That's why it's like, yeah, I'm upset, but at the same time, it's like I still get a joy of doing it. So I'm not gonna, if I don't, now there's been times like even this week I kind of was skeptical. Like I said, mentally I'm just not in a good place, to be honest with you guys. But I love coming here every week and talking sports, especially during this time of year. This is especially a happier time of year for me because I like the NFL playoffs. I like the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is like my #1 holiday, even though it's an unofficial holiday. But that's what I look forward to for the year, even before my birthday. I say I'm not really a holiday person. Holidays get me down during the year. Just doing a lot of thinking. It's a new year. Hopefully I reach some of my goals. Like I said, I got the ambition that I wanna move. There's a lot of things I wanna do, so I gotta start getting disciplined and just put my head down and just doing what I gotta do. And that's on me. And I always take responsibility for the things that are on me. And that's why I understand why people. I don't know. I just don't feel like I get the support. I guess I just don't know who's genuine and who's not anymore sometimes. And like I said, I'm an emotional person. I pretty much tell you how I feel, good or bad about you. Just to let you know, because you just, life's too short. So I always just, I guess I pour my heart out and just don't get the same in return. So it kind of hurts a little bit. Then I just start thinking negative thoughts, maybe you want to call them that. That's fine. I just feel like people, I just feel like if I did things a lot differently, I think I would get criticized for it, for being selfish and things of that nature, which I'm not. I do for anybody if I can. I just don't feel like I get the same support, and that's just frustrated me. Yes, I was disappointed that I didn't get a crowd for the live stream, but that's fine. But I just wanted to vent on that. But I'm feeling better as far as mentally a little bit. But I still, these thoughts still be creeping in my mind. I want to try to push them away. And that's all I'm gonna stay on the subject. Don't want to turn this blog into sad. I didn't want to end the blog this way, but I just wanted to express how I felt. And I'm not afraid to express how I feel. I used to be one of those. I used to keep my mouth shut. That's why, even though when I kind of blow up on social media, I wouldn't say blow up, but once I put out something, I feel, I don't feel no regret. I just, it's a way to voice mine, because I don't think I get to voice how I feel that often. And people tell me, well, you need to start talking. Then when I don't talk, when I talk, it's like, now they basically telling me to shut up. So it's like, it's just frustrating. But I'm gonna try to do better. I'm gonna try to start working on my goals, because like I said, I'll be 40 in October this year, and I want to at least be on the cusp of doing what I want to do for me, for a change. People can say what they want, but people that know me know I sacrifice a lot for people every day. So I don't understand why people don't, or people, I get upset when people think I'm going to hurt them, or, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, especially people that I know for a long time, like, it's like you still don't know me. Like, you should know that I would never do certain things to you. So it's just been a rough week for me. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate the support I do get, though. Like, I always reiterate that. Like, I appreciate the support I do get. But some people, they come, not said that they come expecting something, but they support, and I guess you expect that support all the time. And then, and I understand people got their own lives, I don't have no children and stuff like that. Some of these people have children. And other things they gotta worry about. I understand that 100%. Like, I'm not saying drop your life and stop, support me, or, or give me what, be in my corner. But, I just feel like people just being in your corner when it's convenient for them. and that's just what it is. Like, people can disagree with me or agree or whatever, but that's just how I feel, and it just was frustrating. Just with the vid, I apologize. I gotta go. I'm up against the clock again. I did this last week. I didn't think this video was gonna be that long, though. I really didn't. But thank you guys so much. I'll be back next Saturday. No special this week. Enjoy the NFL playoffs. Enjoy the NBA. Like, I think I'm gonna watch the NBA game today, Bucks Heat. I think I'm gonna watch that if I'm up. Just thank you guys, everybody, for the support. I'll see you guys next week. I'm Troy West. Thank you for watching the South Sports Gaming channel, and thank you for watching another presentation of the South Sports video blog. Video should post, say about an hour from now. It's 9:40 Eastern time in the morning. So thank you guys. Appreciate the support. See you guys next week. Thank you.